trainer Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy, thanks for talking to Baylor 8 TV.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, as you know, your man Billy Joe Saunders is going to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. What's your feeling about the fight so far?
I think it's going to be a very good fight. They both seem to have got the hump with one another, so it should be very interesting how the tactics are going to go, you know.
So as an experienced trainer, when you've got a fighter that's entering a grudge match, is there anything you need to be aware of in terms of training or mental approach?
Well, you just make sure that grudge, if he's not, you know, they build these fights up with grudge matches, you just got to make sure your fighter's in control of himself in and out of the ring.
Right.
You know, that's a very important thing to do, and I know Billy Joe is in full control in everything he says and does.
Okay. Chris Eubank Jr. is an unorthodox fighter. What have you done in terms of sparring to make the adjustments to meet Chris Eubank Jr., for example?
Well, we've just hired the sparring partners that box like him.
Right.
Good, strong boys, and we all know how Chris fights, and he knows how Joe fights, so we all know one another, so we've got to find out who's the best, who gets there first. The
idea would be that because Chris Eubank Jr. just kind of doesn't work very hard, hasn't got a high work rate, you'd put the pressure straight on him from day one. Don't give him any space to breathe. What happens if you have a situation where the fighter, Chris Eubank Jr., is physically stronger than Billy Joe? How do you tackle that then?
We'll find a way.
You'll find a way?
We'll find a way.
Okay. Billy Joe also mentioned the word retirement if he would lose the fight.
He did.
Does that not put extra pressure on him?
No, he says what he means. He means what he says. I mean, I wouldn't personally have said that myself, but Joe's he's a married man, got 2 kids. He's not a little child. If he feels that way, he said it. He can't go back on it.
You know that the retirement word is used with fighters that are maybe coming to the end of their career, and when it's said, it's like, well, it's 1 foot out the door, and it's sort of red flags. This is a young fighter saying the word retirement. Boxing's a mental game. You know, I'd say 90% mental, 10% physical.
At the top, yeah.
Yeah, at the top. And so, with that situation being the case, if Billy Joe is saying the word retirement, does that not put elements of doubt in the mind? Because you've got it there, you're thinking about it, you've said it.
Well, he's putting doubt in Chris Eubank's mind, isn't he? That's what he's trying to do.
Well, how does that work? Is it reverse psychology, you're saying?
Well, he said it. I can't do nothing about it, so we're just going to get on with it.
Okay. The other thing was said that you said he would box to instructions.
Yes, I did say
and
that.
he turned around and said, well, you know, before you said that, he said he'd do what he wants, when he wants, how he likes.
Chris did, yeah.
Yes. Your response to that?
Well, if he said it, he wants to do what he likes. He's a big man, he's 25 years of age. If he wants to do what he likes and he thinks he don't need no instructions, he don't need a trainer, he don't need no one to tell him what to do, very lucky man, isn't he? I think everyone needs a little bit of backup somewhere along the line.
And let's flip it the other way around. If you were in Chris Eubank Jr.'s corner, would you take the Billy Joe Saunders fight?
That's an interesting question. I don't think I would, no.
And why wouldn't you take the fight?
I'd give him a bit more experience.
Okay.
Because he needs to do the rounds. He's done 5 or 6 to 12 rounders back to back.
Okay.
He's boxed everyone in the country. He's been #1 contender.
Right.
That's why I would not have taken the fight for Chris Eubank.
Okay. And finally, George Groves, maybe in a similar situation, hadn't fought really anybody, and then kind of took this big fight with Calf Roch. When people said, no, he wasn't ready, and look, he put on a great performance against Roch, although he lost.
Well,
had
the first fight,
yeah. Had he kind of taken a few more fights, do you think he would have had a better chance of beating Roch that night?
No, I don't, because the first fight, yeah, he did put on a good performance. It was 50-50 as it was going.
Yep.
He knocked Froch down once, had him in trouble once, but when Froch had him in trouble, he was getting looked a little bit worn out. I watched it on TV, by the way, not that I wasn't there. He looked as if he was going a little bit, and Froch caught him, And at first, when the referee stopped it, I thought, I stopped it too soon. But
Yep.
when I watched the replay,
Yep.
the referee was spot on.
Yep.
Because I think he would have got stopped anyway,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay. Jimmy Tibbs, thank you so much for talking to Baylor 8 TV.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.